Hey, welcome to my channel, or welcome back, loyal viewers. I'm Carrie, the nosy housefrau, and this might be an inadvertent ASMR video because there's a storm outside, and I'm not going to let that stop me because I like the ambient noise of a storm. I grew up on Long Island, and I rather enjoy the sound of summer storms. And just know that if you hear some lightning and thunder, it's not me evoking the drama gods as it may sound, but in fact, I'm indoors and safe and sound, just like you, I hope. Anyway, someone asked me to chime in on my response to Shannon Joyce's response. I actually watched two Shannon Joyce crap. I knew that was going to happen. I went to school with a girl called Shannon Joyce, and every time I say Shannon Rose for the last couple of days, I've been making sure I don't say, oh, see, I angered the drama gods. There's the thunder. Shannon Rose. I know her name because I'm fine without the medication. And she did two videos that I watched. Boy, do I have stories about Shannon Joyce. But anyway, she did two stories that I watched today. Two videos. Let's just stop and take a sip of coffee. I'm not editing, I'm pushing through. It's just going to be what it is. This is an as-is video, so don't try to get a refund. I watched both of Shannon Rose's videos today, and there have been some developments in the last day. First, let me say, I noticed last night that somebody had doxed Shannon on Mango's video. Now that she's come out and she's said it, I feel more comfortable bringing this up, but it's apparently plastered everywhere, and I thought it was just under his video. And I couldn't help noticing that in spite of many requests saying this is not appropriate, take this down, even if you don't like her, you know, she has a family, it was still up there. It was still up there. I'm going to go check and see if it's still up there now. Hold on. Okay, so I went to Steven's channel and saw that the comment in question, the one I saw that doxed Shannon, is gone. It was posted by this person, Shiva. And the reason I think, now that I've looked through a lot of the comments, that this person is not Mango is because they were telling him to prove his Venmo and saying, you know, Venmo. They were telling him, you know, why don't you show these receipts and prove she's a liar, because they believe him. And that's how I knew it wasn't him, because he would never suggest that he post receipts that we all know he doesn't have. In case you're unaware, it has been proven in the last 24 hours that the hair and makeup air quotes gift that had 1 million strings attached to it was never actually sent. And who could even be surprised by that? The way he mentions in the beginning that he's offering to pay for it, and then later goes, and then I paid it later, while he's looking away. He just kind of mumbles that out. And I thought, something didn't sound right about that. So you didn't have to dig deep, it turns out, to find out that there's nothing on his Venmo profile about that transaction. And it would be there. And I got that information from my friend Metamorphosis Rocks. But also, last night I got something in my DMs that showed that there was no transaction. And that's not my receipt to share, but I'll just leave it to you whether or not I saw it. But I did. And I know that he never sent that money. So, this person who was posting this, and I had said in my comments I wouldn't be surprised if it had been Mango, because he's been known to use a lot of socks. But as a matter of fact, turns out it's not. In this case, it's not him. However, that comment was up there for a while. I reported it. A bunch of other people reported it. If it were your channel and those were in your comments, and you know he reads all of his comments, you'd have taken it down immediately. And I would have blocked the person who posted that, because what's to keep them from posting that again? Not cool. That woman has a child. They're not even staying in their new house right now because the information of where they live somehow got leaked out and was all over the internet, on gossip sites, and under Mango's video. So until they have their security in place, they're not enjoying what should be the best time of their lives right now. They're staying at her mom's. Pretty much sucks. And I have no gray area when it comes to doxing. I think anybody who doxes is garbage. So part of the way through Shannon's video, her response to Stephen Mango, I found myself wondering why she didn't show, you know, her phone receipts or any other receipts. And then I remembered, this isn't really what she does. This isn't what her channel's about. She's not somebody who gets like a dog with a bone if somebody criticizes her. That's part of her nature. But she explained it later in the video when she says, you know, if he can fake all of these receipts about me, then why would you have any reason to believe anything I show you? So she already felt in the one down by showing any proof, and I get that. Now, if it were me, I probably would try to get the phone records from my company. They can send you, your carrier can send you the records of your messaging. But then again, at the same time, you'd think, well, that could be fake too, but also you'd have to show your personal texts in order to show that his wasn't in there, so that could be problematic too. The other thing is, who the heck wants to spend time on that? She knows that this guy is doing this for views. She knows that she has a landslide of support, so she doesn't really have to do the work. She's not an internet bloodhound. She's not the kind of person who's gonna, write down everything and say, you better have your ducks in a row if you're going to criticize me, which is a little bit more my nature, actually. I don't know. I really can't stand to be lied about. I mean, it's one of, I think about, sometimes your brain goes to what's the worst thing you can think of. One would be a lost child. It's probably the worst nightmare. And then, it's being lied about. By the way, there is a third thing for me, and it's a crime that's been committed on this very page when people say could care less instead of couldn't care less. If you could care less, you care! Okay, so that's the order. Lost child, being lied about, could care less. That's the way we need to attack things in life according to their level. Maybe I'm a little menopausal. Moving right along. I'm kind of sad the storm passed. I was enjoying that. But watching Shannon's video, I just felt like I could understand why she was torn about not even talking about it versus talking to her viewers about it. I thought she didn't approach it from that, court of law stance that many of us take when we are knocking down someone's argument, but that's understandable too. That's the place she's in right now. I mean, she was breastfeeding towards the end. She had her baby with her, and I'm thinking, this is supposed to be a beautiful, bonding, relaxing moment. I'm definitely not one of those people who gets offended by breastfeeding. It almost makes me cry. That's how much I get baby fever sometimes, and I miss when my son was little. But I'm thinking, she doesn't need to waste her time on this. She just moved into a beautiful house. She's got a wonderful husband, a beautiful baby. She wants to spend time on that. And who wants to take that time of your life, those moments that won't come back, and spend it talking about Stephen Mango? No one. So it kind of put it in perspective for me, the little baby, and she's just so cute. And I thought, this is really what it's about. All of this other stuff is nonsense. These moments that don't come back, that's where you want to spend your time. And if somebody is accusing you of lying, and you know that they're lying, you can be sure the truth will come out. She hasn't even had to pull up the Venmo receipts, and people already found them for her. It's already been established that he never made that transaction. And he lied about it in the first place, as far as I'm concerned. He made it sound like they had this agreement and that she, snatched that up beforehand and that it was all arranged beforehand. Then it became reimbursement, which was really weird. And that's the other thing I find odd. If he's going to fake receipts, why would he fake receipts that make him look bad? Now, Channon did say specifically some of the things that she did not say, that she didn't say her mother would take the baby off her hands for them. That's not the way she talks. She said she never said that. But I would have really liked it if she would have gone into more detail and told us specifically what she didn't say. I know she says the 3:30 thing was completely fabricated. Some people were talking about the fact that her name changes. This was in the comments, that her name on the phone changes on his during the messages. But that doesn't mean they're faked. That means he could have just changed what he had her in there as. So I would really be curious to see a little more detail on this, but I am glad she did respond to it. She didn't have to respond to it at all, knowing that that really does benefit him and that he's getting views out of it and mileage out of it. That to me does seem something that's like him, though. When he talks about Scientology, it's like an ex that he wants to get back together with. That's what it sounds like. And he said that they invested in him in case he became famous. I think that's his view of it because of his fascination and desire for fame. I think it's more they wanted his money and they find anybody they can to get money from. But when he talks about Scientology, you get the feeling, and a couple of people did note this in the comments recently, It's almost as if he only left because he didn't get famous, or he only left because he was going to be outed as gay, as another person put it, and that would have gotten him shunned. I'm not sure about those details, but you could look at this as a pattern. He was with Scientology. He didn't get what he wanted out of him. He didn't get fame from working with them, so he bashes them to get fame. He has often described himself as one man going up against Scientology, like a Davy and Goliath story. Meanwhile, there are hordes of ex-Scientologists in LA that he could work with instead of considering himself one man because he likes the way that looks. So it's the same thing with Channon. She didn't help him the way he wanted to, so he's going to bash her to get this fame. If you can't join him, beat him. Now, I don't know that that's the gospel truth, but there sure is an argument to be made for that because it's looking and walking and quacking like a duck. So what I wound up taking away from Channon's video is what I think the message of it was basically, and that is, at the end of the day, you will believe what you believe. At one point, she had the hair and makeup person on speaker, denouncing the ridiculous notion that Channon hadn't paid for everything herself. That, in and of itself, is not proof. A friend would lie for a friend. So she's put in that position once again where she can't really give receipts that her detractors may believe. And we believe what we believe. We try to make the most informed decisions we can. When I went to Mango T's channel, I saw the pylon. I saw that he was reaping what he had sown, and now there were a whole slew of descending fans of Channon, the legion of fans that were giving him what for. And although he brought that on himself, I just didn't enjoy seeing it. I get no schadenfreude. What you believe about each of these two at the end of the day comes down to what you believe. For those people who suggested in the comments that I may be biased, I can own that label provided it is with the understanding that I have not been unfairly prejudiced. Everyone is influenced by their experiences. Everyone who has an opinion has come to form that opinion based on what they see. And yes, Mango's history does tip the scales of justice in Channon's favor for me. It's about credibility. It's about history. If you haven't seen the legion of things he's done, I will link below a video that T by Ali did a while ago on Mango that is quite illuminating, and you can judge for yourselves if you care to pursue it. I don't really come to this channel to spread hate. For me, it is about discussion, it is about discourse, and it is about talking about what you think is right. And in this case, I think Mango is showing his colors, and that's just my opinion. And I have to say, that's what you can expect to find on this channel. My opinion. I'm sorry if it's not leaning the way you want it to, but you can find plenty of like minds. And thank you to everyone else who continues to encourage me on a regular basis with your wonderful comments and your bright insights. I've said before, a lot of you are better at this than I am, so I thank you for listening and giving me your time. Please consider liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell. I really do appreciate you, and your view does help me live well, and that, as you know, is the best revenge. Oh, and one more thing. Channon, Travis, I know you don't know me, but may I borrow your baby? I just want to babysit, nothing untoward, in your home. I want to film a mukbang with your baby. What? She has my appetite.